aren't able to do anything. However, most of that is off on the back of their AD carry Yoshi. This time around, they're going to be playing with a substitute, Nikawa, in that bot lane. Of course, Cody is still going to be on that support role, so he is going to be able to bring back that similar playstyle that they have with the aggressive picks like Galio as well as Morgana, but still, that dynamic is prone to change.
It is. I'm just reading in the chat of the lobby that it is annoying me as well. Apparently, mechanics have woken up.
Yay.
I don't know what will happen, so we'll just have to talk a bit more until the game actually starts, and we will have some actual info. But it is important what you said. The fact that Yoshi is not here for Royal Reapers, one of the people that have consistently been able to step up, win those things. Of course, together with the junglers, which have been swapping all the way around, unless it's the same person just changing the nickname. But I do doubt it. So that player not being here does mean that Royal Reapers, they will have to kind of shake their things up. However, I know what we can talk about whilst it all is going on. A new patch has just dropped, 9.6.
yeah.
A lot of things have been changed, so talk us through what actually did.
So I was looking at the patch notes today, funnily enough. I didn't realize that it was meant to be dropping today. Thought it was going to be in a week, but regardless, they are here now and ready. And the biggest change that I think that will actually sway the meta quite a bit are mostly champion stylized. Now, one of the biggest influences on the meta overall has been Ezreal for a long time, and now the tier is actually a unique item. So similarly to how you can buy only one jungle item, you can now buy only one tier of the goddess. So you cannot go for the standard build that was the Archangel Staff and Manamune. So Ezreal, he will now be forced out of that late game status quo, and he will be forced to play mostly around the mid game, returning to his old actual standing where he was as an AD carry. Some other notable changes is that got buffed because Jesus Christ, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he now gets a shield on his E, and his W turns into a permanent toggle at level 5. So I was actually doing the counting, and if you go for a different ability scaling, because you generally tend to max Q for the poke, you can now actually max W because it does still deal quite a bit of damage, and you can get the toggle at level 8. Which is, yeah, that's quite disgusting. Gives you a lot of wave clear, a lot of things to improve upon. Well, we're going to have to see if that is going to be a popular pick today. I said that I said to Kachka before we actually started that it was going to have 100% pick or ban appearance in these games today. And well, let's just see if Logan Ma or Royal Reapers are going to actually pick that up.
Yeah, I mean, 100% out of 2 games today. We're gonna see if that is the case. I mean, 2 stream games. Of course, more are played off stream, but hey, we're doing our best. Well. We're doing our best. Okay, well, I mean, then we won't really know until the stats drop out. But if the bot is down, then we won't know.
Yeah, the stats that very consistently keep on crashing, like last week, and the week before that. So I mean, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Another thing that really surprised me in that patch notes was the changes to Jace, because I did agree with Riot's thinking about it, because of course it is a very, very oppressive pick right now, very powerful. However, I think that it doesn't precisely nerf him, just changes the position of his, because they nerfed his health regeneration as well as some mana that he had. And now he's going to be a bit more squishy, so I think that he can show up in that mid lane, something that Sujin, as I'm looking at the client right now, he could possibly pick that up.
Alright, and in formation now, because a lot has happened whilst we have been waiting. The teams are ready, so we should be dropping into that champ select. However, Roasted or Mechanics, I'm gonna refer to him as Roasted, his IGN, is back. However, Lao Ganma will lose all 5 of their bans, apparently. That is a big oof.
I mean, I hope they're able to play blind pick, because that's essentially what they're going to be doing. I feel like losing all bans, especially in a competitive setting, is just so goddamn debilitating. Simply because, well, if you wanted to target ban out something, you're not going to be able to do so. And what I'm mostly looking at right now, given this scenario, is that bot lane. I mentioned that it was going to be Yoshi missing from that bot lane. I want to see Nikawa step up. I want to still see that aggressive dynamic that they have been able to develop so far in this league thus far. I want them to lock in Illusion. I want them to lock in something that can get these early game leads, because now they're not going to get anything banned out from them, so they can get a really, really good matchup wherever they want.
And we are jumping into those bans. Of course, that will be quite a lot of waiting. Altogether, 2.5 minutes as well, because you have to wait through those bans. But it will be Laoganma on this blue side and Royal Reapers on the red side, which means that Laoganma, even though they don't get the bans, they still have got the first pick. You mentioned the Ergot. We could maybe seeing some other stuff, something that they have practiced come through. So yeah, we're just gonna take our sweet time with it.
Sweet time. I feel like weren't we actually? Can you actually not like ban out nothing? As in like in solo, you can select none.
I don't think you can in tournament draft.
Right, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, in that case, we are going to be having some nice little time. You mentioned that it is going to be Laoganma starting on the blue set, which is really important because, as you said, that Ergot is going to be seeing a resurgence. I think that he can now be picked both top lane as well as mid lane, although mid lane he is going to be super punishable by something like a mage or something that can just easily outkite him. But it's still a very scary pick nonetheless. Now, Vladimir taken away, side of Laoganma, and they are actually going to take that Lucian themselves out. I said that they could pick it up themselves, but I mean, it's fine, I suppose. They thought that Rosted can pull out something like that aggressive Lucian, instead of going for the scaling that he's relatively known for.
What I'm also looking at is whether Morgana will be a high priority pick, because Clean by Cody has played it a lot in the SQ1 Champions League as well as his solo queues, I believe one of his most played champions. And well, since Laoganma cannot ban out anything, it's pretty much on the Royal Reapers. It could be first pick, but that depends on whether those teams actually want to commit their first pick into a support.
Yeah, and I'm still looking at what it is going to be. That first main pick for Laoganma, 13 seconds now left on the final ban for the first ban phase from Royal Reapers. I like to see what it is going to be targeted by them, because it is going to tell us what the entirety of the draft is going to look like. Are they going to be going for pure, or are they going to be going for scale? They lock in themselves Sivir, which, you know, I feel like is no big surprise. Roasted, of course, one of the best lane carries out there that we have in this league, so getting himself a hands on that nice little safe champion makes quite a bit of sense.
And you can't really even punish it, especially if it will be paired with safe support like the Braum or maybe even a Tahm Kench. Of course, we'll see where they decide to go now. Royal Reapers, they are flashing that Riven, and the timer is actually going over to 0. It will be a Jarvan. It was hovered for too long. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna get baited. However, now we've got a lot of team fighting ability in those two picks that Royal Reapers have gotten themselves
already. And something that I actually really like about those two picks is not that they only provide team fighting, they also provide catch-out potential. If you recall to what I said about Royal Reapers' style of play, it's that they like to get ahead early on. They like to snowball, they like to get these early kills, and Galio and Jarvan are excellent in setting up these quick engages, because you do a flag and drag, Galio suddenly jumps in, you're taunted up, you cannot move, and you die. However, the side of Laoganma, they're saying, alright, we're not going to be focusing on the bot lane. You know, this is our signature thing. We've been doing this for the entirety of the split. Come on, guys. They're going to be having Pyke in the bot lane, who is going to be able to roam around the mid. However, they're not going to be getting that priority pick on that mid lane, and now that opens up for Royal Reapers. That's still a mouthful for me for some reason, to just ban it out.
Alright, the last pick in the first phase will be that Tristana. So AD carries, we're going pretty safe. We might be going pretty late game judging by what is picked now. Mid lane, you said could be the focus. Galio, maybe mid lane, maybe the support. We have seen it quite a lot being played in this bot lane. And with the Pyke and roaming support, the focus will definitely be on some other lane. Now the bans, coming in only from the Royal Reapers, will indicate where exactly do they want to play on the last one. They actually... Okay, it will be the Ahri ban, so mid lane is getting targeted.
And it makes sense, because now you can either ban out mages if you think that it is going to be Laoganma playing mostly through their mid lane, or you can ban out roaming mid laners if you think they're going to be going for a support mid and jungler combination to try and counter jungle whoever is that poor fella in Royal Reapers' lineup. Of course, it's Lagia, but I mean in champion-wide. Speaking of that jungle, it could be Jarvan. Of course, we have seen Jarvan step up in priority. In some other places, top lane and support hasn't had that much success. I feel like there have been some good games here, but outside of that, there's that little invulnerable meme about the Zhonya's, but you know, that's a whole nother beast to tackle.
It is.
Yeah, so now, final ban remaining for Royal Reapers. I still think that they can ban out something mid-oriented. They will take that Lissandra. They realize that they want to go for engage themselves, and right now they have a pretty nice dive composition. So just taking that away, taking something safe away from the hands of Lauganma makes a lot of sense, and it also takes away their ability to engage themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they have a dive composition. They might have a dive compilation at the end of this game if they have something even more
Very true.
aggressive. I like their flex picks. I mean, if Lauganma had the bans, then they could try to ban some lanes, but even then, Galio could be support or mid lane. Jarvan could be top mid lane or support. We do expect those champions of, I mean, Jarvan probably to go into the jungle, and now Royal Reapers, what do they even decide to pick? They will have to tie this composition together somehow.
Yeah, so right now I'm not seeing too much early game or mid game guarantee, and this is why I enjoy seeing this cannon being offered. If that is going to be picked, it is going to be forcing that jungle into that, or that Jarvan into that jungle role. However, they're going to swap it at the very last second, and instead it is going to be the pure aggression from Lagia. He is another person that I'm really looking at when it comes to that Royal Reaper's composition. He likes playing these carry junglers, and he can get these leads. So on that Xin Zhao, even if something like a Camille is picked into him, he is still going to have a pretty easy time in that jungle and can work together with his team to get the lanes ahead as well as himself.
Now Camille being Harvard will be locked in with Olaf as well for side of Lauganma. I would assume it will be Ayatsuri Camille in this top lane. So Lauganma already having some split push. They definitely don't want to go for those big team fights from what they have picked right now. Now mid lane is what we are expecting, which should be going over to Sojin.
And right now, I actually really like what both of these teams have done so far, because Lauganma, they have the potential to swap out Camille for Olaf. Now, it is going to be Syndra, so it's not going to be anything cheesy. However, they can still flex whoever can be going into that top lane. If it's going to be Olaf, if it's going to be Camille. So in the end, they can still secure themselves a favorable matchup in that top lane. So I was being covered. I'm not sure if it's actually been bug fixed. I think it has been. Because else it wouldn't make a lot of sense. Now, that would make that Galio will be going into that support position.
But it doesn't matter, we've got a Twisted Fate for Omena. The interesting thing is that he has played it, but this champion is so unique in its own playstyle. So what are we really now expecting from this composition of Royal Reapers?
See, right now I see a lot of things that Royal Reapers can go for, because they have a lot of lanes to play through simply because they're locked in this Twisted Fate. What Twisted Fate does is, he can of course roam after level 6, but he is surprisingly easy to play around if you are the jungler. Especially if you have a lot of damage as the Xin Zhao, he can just set you up with a good gold card, and especially against someone like Syndra, before level 6, he can actually get a pretty good push. So don't be surprised if you're going to be like, going to that mid lane. However, that's not the only thing that he has. He can go to the top lane, a lot of setup with Jarvan, Camille, not the best of early game carries, and in the bot lane he will also have good setup as with that taunt from Galio as well as the knockup. And he's playing into super squishy Pyke support, so, well, a lot of options open for him.
Definitely a lot of options. Nekawa playing the Tristana. I am mostly looking at this bot lane for the Royal Reapers if they can snowball him. Of course, Sivir, a pretty safe AD carry, but pair that with Pyke and it becomes a more aggressive bot lane. And if you can get all of your members down there, then you can get some dives. And a snowballing Tristana is a very strong win condition. No matter what your team comp is, you can just get some kills and pretty much win the game from this point. So I want to see Royal Reapers utilize this Xin Zhao to enable Omena to roam around this map, because that would be one hell of a power move.
Yeah, and at this point, I really like both of these team compositions simply because they both have good early lanes to play around. They do have that Olaf Camille pairing. They also have good mid game in the case of that Jarvan and Twisted Fate, as well as Xin Zhao in a sense. And on the other hand, you have Syndra and Camille as well. And in the late game, you will have just the AD carry duel if it goes on for long enough. So in the end, it comes out to the execution. And in this case, I feel like Royal Reapers have locked in themselves the more simpler one, because they have just so many tools to jump all over the map. You have the Destiny from Twisted Fate, you have the Hero's Entrance from Galio, you have that incredible mobility with the engage that Jarvan the Fourth can provide, and so the Royal Reapers, they have locked in themselves a composition that is pretty easy to execute.
However, now we've got Lao Ganma on the other side, and when I look at this composition, I see quite a lot of wave clear in the form of Syndra and Sivir, and your split pushing threat when you are Camille. But there are a lot of globals, as you said, for Royal Reaper. So what really is the way that Lao Ganma want to play this game out?
So, what I want to see is a lot of pairing of Olaf and Camille. I said this just a few seconds ago. Camille and Olaf have a relatively lot of setup, especially past level 6, as soon as Camille gets access to her ultimate. They can actually develop a lot of damage, especially if it's in a 2v1, and when they're playing against Jarvan and Forth and Xin Zhao, it's always going to be pretty even. However, essentially, who gets the first strike is going to be able to win, because every single one of these champions in the early game is pretty goddamn squishy. I want to see a lot of pressure in that top lane, because if Camille falls behind, you mentioned that she's a really powerful side lane threat. If she is behind, she's not going to be that. And right now, Lao Ganma, they require her to succeed. They require her to, if not snowball, at least go even with this Jarvan in that top lane, and then become that side lane powerful threat that you talked about.
Alright, then a lot of pressure on Ayatsuri, as well as on It Is Over, playing this Olaf, a champion that can duel Xin Zhao in the early game fairly reasonably with all those axes and can also gank. So top lane jungle is what I feel like we will be looking at. The spectator delay is now over, so guys, let us know in the chat who do you think is going to take this one. Will it be Lao Ganma or will it be the Royal Reapers?
The Royal Reapers.
The Loyal Reapers.
All right.
Yeah.
How many people from there do you actually think are like royalty?
0.
Okay, so you think that they're usurpers. So do you think that they're the new kings?
No, we're not going for those.
I mean,
okay, any team that wins this split will be the new king, since there is
Very
no
true.
old king. So, you know.
Very true.
But that will be something we are saving for playoffs. So
Okay.
still 3 weeks to go, excluding this one. So quite a few games. As yeah, we will be loading into this one just shortly. I mean, a lot of exciting stuff. The junglers that can actually make something happen, as well as roaming supports. And then you've got the AD carries just gonna be farming. So yeah, I guess there's
gonna
that.
be a fun time. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time over there in the bot lane. Of course, if the junglers do decide to roam over, they will have quite a lot of setup. We have seen Pyke be very dominant in the bot lane. I have a friend that always keeps on telling me that Pyke is, I wanted to say, I'm not cursing, come on, that he's very bad at the laning phase, and I agree with him in a sense, but if you ever played against the Pyke, if he gets a good bone skewer off, you're essentially screwed, especially if you're fighting a 2v3. Brolaf, as he does have that skin, doesn't necessarily have a lot of setup. However, what Pyke does, is that he forces flashes just with his presence, and so if he's playing really aggressive, it's going to be very easy to It Is Over, renames, to just come over there for a repeat gank and try to get this Sivir snowballing, which is something that you preluded to a couple of minutes ago.
Alright, now we are loading into the Rift finally, so we will be seeing some action. Hopefully those predictions come true, or maybe someone will throw us off. Just a pointer, Sojourn did opt for a cleanse against Omena's Twisted Fate. Makes a lot of sense. You do want to escape, as well as all of that CC in the late game, so that's just your one interesting fact.
Yeah, and you never want to get locked down, especially when you're playing against someone like Twisted Fate and Xin Zhao, because Xin Zhao, he does provide the knockup himself, so a lot of crowd control there, ready and waiting for the side of LGM Sujin. A very early Pixel Brush ward coming there in that topside river. Not quite sure what the thinking behind that was. I'm thinking right now, if it's going to spot Olaf out, if he starts bot side on the Wraiths and going over to Skull Crab, we'll have to see how he paths. A good flag chunking Ayatsuri for a bit.
A Music Addict is already sitting up there, like you're actually recalling, and he will be moving up towards his red buff, so he won't be spotted on any sort of like division shenanigans early on. Actually, both It Is Over and Lagya recalling and going onto, well, what I would believe might be the second buff. Ayatsuri, he will now spot Music Addict giving over the leash, so good information early on from Lao Ganma.
Yeah, very important, and of course, Olaf, he doesn't necessarily need a leash, and that is what Ayatsuri is going to be doing, not giving his jungler any sort of help. He wants to get as good of a laning phase against Jarvan as he can, because Camille against Jarvan is a surprisingly bad matchup if you're playing this Camille. She's also playing Press the Attack, not the Comet, so it's going to be even more difficult for him this laning phase because Press the Attack doesn't precisely give you too much value in that laning phase itself. As I say that, Music Addict loses a pretty bad trade in the top lane though, so perhaps Aether is just proving me wrong.
Yeah, Atsuri does manage to get quite a bit of damage, but that is only the level 1 in this top lane, and we know how quickly that can go. Of course, you said no comet means no free poke, which just makes the entire thing harder. Taking a quick look at the lanes, nothing too surprising. Ayatsuri, he gets the level 2, he goes in with a hookshot. That is actually a lot of damage with this Press the Attack now. Topside River, Lagia, and it is over. They're gonna be trading for that Scoundrel Rifle picked up by Lagia, however, Sojin coming down from the river, and Omena gets the gold card stand, however, it is over. He has that throws flash over the wall, and it is over, follows it up, and first blood picked up by Ayatsuri from that top lane. Music Addict flags and drags over the wall, and it is 1 kill going over to LGM.
And a really, really good early game engage coming there from LGM, utilizing Sujin as a sort of backup plan in that top side river, getting himself a quick early kill, actually going into the pockets of Camille. It is over, he's trying to do something in the mid lane. He's just gonna eat a lot of cards. However, now, Ayatsuri, he can snowball, however, he's under the bot lane or top side territory.
He takes a lot of damage with those 2 tower shots. These trades are pretty even, but now with this red buff, Ayatsuri will have quite a lot of pressure in those trades. If he gets a good stun to Music Addict, then that just might be a Camille with 2 kills, and this is definitely not what you want.
Oh yeah, especially if you're playing this Jarvan. I mentioned that she wants to snowball and at least want to be even in that matchup. Now she's going to be able to do that very, very safely. Is going to be able to get that nice little push in. With the W, she's actually forced to, she's able to zone this Jarvan out of the wave, so it just gives her a lot more pressure in this top lane.
That's now bot side river seems to be the focus of some aggression. John Cleaver sitting on the range of vision now, cleaned by Cody, dashing forward. He gets the ton onto the pike. That is a nice Fanamander throw away. Just a bit of damage coming through onto the support of Lao Ganma Omena. Flashing forward with that gold card into it is over. His support has joined the fray. The Ignite is now dice and knock-up, and Lagia gets a kill. Now that the kills are utilized across the board, good pick from Royal Reapers.
And it seemed a bit too over-eager by Omena, however he did have his team up, and in the end, it results in a quick kill for Lagia. Who was it? I believe it was Cody that is reconnecting. Bit unsure what happened there. We'll see in a couple of minutes, hopefully. Perhaps even less. Now, the state of the map is actually looking quite well for both these teams, of course, and you don't necessarily want to be giving all of these kills over to Xin Zhao. You want to be giving them to most of your main carries, simply because you want to speed up that power spike that they're going to be having with a lot of those items early on, but it still doesn't hurt the Xin Zhao, especially since before level 6, he can get a lot of good fights onto Olaf. Olaf can get knocked up if he doesn't have his Ragnarok up, and so Xin Zhao can now utilize it and just bully him out of the jungle.
And getting early kills on Xin Zhao is pretty good. Of course, you said it, you want to be giving them over. By that 1 kill, more gold, more damage, Lagia will be hopefully able to find even more plays as the support has, I believe, reconnected and the teams are getting ready. I just want to maybe revisit the CS numbers, mostly in this mid lane. Omena able to get ahead, however he doesn't have any of his summoners, which means that it is over. He can look for those ganks.
Yeah, he definitely can. Right now, it is over with Sujin. They can work together in tandem in that mid lane. If you get a good stun off on Twisted Fate, he's essentially dead because a lot of combined damage together with the ultimate from Syndra and just auto attacks on the side of Olaf will be able to burst them down. That's the
Lagia in this mid lane. He just forces the cleanse from the side of Sojin, and that's it.
That's lovely. Of course, Sujin did not have any mana, and so he opted to just play it safe, not give any kills over to Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate isn't something that is inherently super scary, but still, you know, you don't want to be playing against anything remotely scary because, well, you just want to allow your Sivir to get into late game. I mean, if you're able to do that, well, good for you.
It is over now, pathing towards this top side. Music Addict, low mana, half HP under tower, has got the flash, just hit level 5, so nowhere close to this ultimate. Now Lagia also looking towards that volley. That's a preemptive flash from Roasted. He did have the ward. Rocket jump forward onto John Cleaver. He misses the bolt skewer and now pops into the Ghostwater dive. Roasted is still the target. That is the knockup. Lagia will be able to find the kill. He takes a lot of damage in return, but just gets out with his life.
Such a nice knock up there from Lagia. Unfortunately, for the side of Roasted, his shield went off as soon as Xin Zhao had that knockup prepared, and in the end, once again, he picks up another kill. A lot of early game pressure coming from him, which is what I wanted to see whenever I see Xin Zhao being locked in. He's doing what he has to, essentially right now. After level 6, it becomes pretty difficult for him to set up these fights in the jungle. He can still go to those lanes, however, and so right now, he's setting himself up to be a very, very scary jungler, even without the CC that he doesn't have.
However, I like what It Is Over is doing in the meantime. He goes in the jungle, invades, takes some camps off, he tries to make sure that Lagia does not go unpunished, and it is working out so far. The gold is slightly in favor of the Royal Reapers, as Omena gets a nice trade onto Sojin in this mid lane, chunking this ninja to about half HP.
And yeah, I agree with you that It Is Over is just able to run into the enemy jungle, pick up a lot of this Lagia CS. That's also because he does have this pressure in this mid lane. Sujin, he realized what Olaf wanted to do and just went to punish the side of Omena's creep wave, just to allow It Is Over to run in. Omena, he spots Olaf on this lovely control board in that top side pixel brush, and he's able to survive. Now in the mid lane, a skirmish possibly happening.
Yeah, It Is Over gets stunned with that gold card. Lagia calling in, that's a lot of damage from this Xin Zhao. However, Lagia might just get turned on. And here comes Music Addict picking up that first kill. Sojin able to flash out, and that is now 3 kills for Royal Reapers.
And that is the problem that you have if you're playing Olaf into someone with even remotely enough CC to lock you down for a few seconds. In the early game, you're very, very squishy. You do not have any survivability, and he pays with his life for trying to fight against someone who's relatively fed on this Xin Zhao.
2-1-1 onto Lagia. He's close to getting his warrior enchantment. It Is Over and doesn't even have level 6. Now, Omena, he has got the Destiny access to this roaming tool. We're gonna see if he decides to utilize that.
I mean, he essentially has to, because without that, Twisted Fate is relatively worthless. Right now, he is still sitting on that Ruby Crystal as well as a Sapphire Crystal, which is kind of lovely. I am going to be excited to see what he is going to be going for, because generally you can go for a Rod of Ages, or you technically can go a bit more cheesy with something like Luden's Echo if you really want to. Lagia in the bot lane.
He jumps in onto Roasted, he gets the knockup. King by Cody looking for the follow-up, and that is Roasted just getting roasted underneath his own tower. Ayatsuri completes the teleport, he jumps in the hookshot onto 4 members, he gets the guys ultimate on the cover. That's a great master shot. The Chutana is still alive, he manages to flash out. It's a flash forward and ignite from John Cleaver. The Triumph keeps Nikawa alive, and he survives the onslaught. Royal Reapers get another 2 kills. However, Sojin jumping in from this melee. Omena gets the stun with the gold card. That is a good cleanse. Now that Twisted Fate is gonna get pulled back, stand up, there is the axe, and there is the damage. Who's gonna be able to get the kill? It will be Sojin.
And well, it is sort of a slaughter for LGM. Royal Reapers, they pick up a lot of kills. They pay with Twisted Fate in return. Sujin now, maybe getting collapsed upon by the Xin Zhao, will just be able to survive with the enemy force.
Flashing over that wall. Lagia still dodging those antidotes. Another one. It Is Over. He just cannot seem to connect with that cooldown. As a result, with a 4-1-1 Xin Zhao. Let's look at what he buys once he recalls. He's sitting on 1500 standing gold.
He is sitting on quite a bit of gold. He did go back to his jungle. Where actually is he? Oh yeah, he's just sitting in the mid lane, going to his top side jungle. Getting a full clear, at least, just to even out that lovely, what's its face? Gold. Something that I actually want to point out, because now you see that 400 gold bounty being shown on Lagia's head. They actually changed the visuals of the scoreboard. So before it would show you the bounty together with the extra gold, as well as the regular gold that you get for killing them. Now they just show you the actual extra bounty. So just something that you should be aware of. As now Olaf in this top lane trying to make something happen. Ayaturi.
Yeah, Music Addict going for those trades. Right now it is going even. However, Ayatsuri, he's even CS and he has that one kill. And this Camille will only scale to be a better side laner. Lagia has a lot of pressure both sides, but it is about time where you start giving over gold and kills to some other laner.
Oh yeah, I mean right now you can technically still keep on getting kills on Xin Zhao, but it's only going to be detrimental towards you. And I want to see him focus perhaps on some other side of the map as well. Try to shut this Camille down. I mentioned that if she isn't going to be able to stay even in this laning phase, she's going to be really bad come mid-game. And right now she's on a good way to be this thorn in the side of Royal Reapers in that side lane. They're still going to have someone like a Twisted Fate or Jarvan to match her, but it would be just a lot easier for them to just shut her down. Dragon, the Cloud one, now picked up by the side of Royal Reapers as well, as it is over. He's trading for it. Look at him go.
Yeah, he has the Herald though. So that is another tool that Lao Ganma can actually use. They are currently falling behind 1.5k gold as the Herald is summoned in the top lane. I like those rotations. Lao Ganma, they want to break open the map.
Yeah, right now Sujin roaming over to that top lane as well. Music Addict is just forced out of his turret because there is so much combined damage on the side of Lao Ganma. In the bot lane, in the meantime, the Royal Reapers, they're trying to get something done, but they're not anywhere close.
Wait, look at it, it's over! The Cataclysm from Music Addict, he gets the kill and he flashes away from that hook shot. The tower might not even fall.
Oh my god, this is a disaster for Lao Ganma. They put so many resources there, and it just doesn't work out for them. In the meantime, in the bot lane, Royal Reapers, they're just hammering away on this turret. They've been finally able to approach it, and so that great looking rotation with that death from It Is Over is just completely turned around.
And this tower should fall down. It finally does. That play, as you said, backfires. It is overextending in this top lane. Music Addict, beautiful punish on this Jarvan. And the Royal Reapers, they are just extending their gold lead.
And he does have 2 kills, which is pretty nice. I mean, he does have just a Tiamat, but still, Jarvan does a surprising amount of damage in the early game, even though he's not necessarily built for that reason. Now, Amena in the mid lane, make a jump on him.
Oh, he dodges one skill, so there's another one. The Undertow finally gets him. He's got the flash and the barrier. Finally uses it as the Unleash Force has been. So we're gonna get celebrated that goal. He pops the Ragnarok and then able to get a kill on Mena. Finally gets on the board. Soji now trying to run away. Flag and drag by Music Addict over this wall. And the death from below in the mid lane. But John Cleaver finally been able to get the kill. And here comes the Nekawa with that rocket jump. Music Addict will be the one to get the kill. Death from below from John Cleaver. On to clean by Cody. There is the heroic punch. Shield of Durant finds the taunt. Music Addict is on his way. The Phantom Undertow gets John Cleaver to relative safety. And this Pike might just escape.
And Music Addict, however, with that almost perfect teleport behind the lines of It Is Over, as well as Sujin able to pick up one more clean kill and then hunt down Syndra afterwards. John Cleaver goes golden, pops a nice little cat. He's a happy boy. As 2 plays are taken in that mid lane.
I feel like that might have been a misclick. Anyways. It doesn't matter, we should not focus that much on just the small mechanical errors. And maybe talk about the map. Nekawa is pushing that top lane. Ayatsuri finally has been put in the bot side. However, the fact that he wasn't able to pick up too many kills means that he's still very much far away from getting that trifold.
And Music Addict is on his way as well. Tristana in that top lane with that bomb was able to pick up the full solo gold for the remaining plates, as well as the turret gold in that top lane. 4k gold deficit now the story for Lao Ganma.
Oh, that is the flash done by Cody. Immediate cleanse from Sojin. The ignite is down. There is the flash forward like that. He wants to get a kill. Flash away. Music Addict over the wall. Here comes Omena. That's a great stun. However, Nekawa flashing forward, able to pick up the kill. It is over in this pit. Running out on this Olaf. The Cataclysm comes out. Good flash away. And that will be just a kill for the side of Royal Reapers. The tower in the ball lane falls. It is over. He's gonna overextend and finally a rampage kill. However, Lao Ganma able to pick up 2 towers.
Ooh, that is actually really good for Lao Ganma. The turret plays expired just a few seconds before the turrets were taken, and so Ayatsuri as well as Roasted are able to pick those objectives up. Really important of them that they keep this map vision matched. I mean, I say that, and Royal Reapers, they're just taking a mid turret. But still, it's at least not the worst of looks for Lao Ganma. Ayatsuri in that mid lane may have something to do.
Oh, Ayatsuri coming through with the hook shot, able to get himself another kill. So Lao Ganma, they are striking back. Still, 4,000 deficit, 4,000 gold of deficit they need to overcome. But first items completed on Sujin and Roasted. Shortly, Ayatsuri will also be able to get that Triforce. Actually, as I say this, he does.
He does. That's lovely. I mean, Camille with the Triforce is almost the full build for her. So, you know, it works out pretty nicely. She's not going to be this strong side lane presence that you perhaps would like her to be, but she's going to be at least decent. I say that. Omena gets chunked for quite a bit. May get actually caught out here by John Cleaver, but no, he just dodges everything. He's got the fleet footwork. Except not really. He's just the footwork in his fleet. What? No, it's the other way around, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. I actually thought that he had picked up an Ignite going into this game. And then I looked over at 10 minutes and what he actually had, and it's a barrier. Which just confused me so much. Regardless, he's been doing a pretty good job. Not the biggest catalyst for the success of Royal Reapers. Right now, that is sitting on the back of Lagia. Right now, Mountain Drake started up and is falling down in pretty quick succession.
It's gonna be reset. However, I don't think that Lao Ganma can contest, and it will be secured by the Music Addict. So now the second dragon over to the side of Royal Reapers. They are currently getting most of the objectives on the map. The Baron still a long way away from spawning. However, Nekawa on Tristana, he now has those double items.
He does. I mean, 2 item Tristana isn't the scariest. Remember John Cleaver catching out clean by Cody?
He pops the taunt. He actually gets a 3-man. Lagia jumping on. Able to burst him down. Nekawa jumping for cover. That kill is traded. That's a great bastard shot. Nearly knocked in is over towards John Cleaver. Not quite yet. And here comes death from below. The kills are traded immediately. A hook shot onto Nekawa. He wants to kite back the haste ultimate of the kill. And Ayatsuri able to equalize it. He flashes out. But a double kill is found for Omena. Overall, a 3-4-3 fight.
And Lao Ganma, they're fighting back, but the problem is they're fighting right at their turret. You have to be winning these fights if you commit to them, because then you're just giving away these objectives. And right now, Royal Reapers, they're just able to pick up another turret. Sure, a couple of kills go the way of Lao Ganma, but they are going to now be severely hurting in map control simply because they do not have this tier 2 turret in that mid lane.
And the vision already is being placed. Just look at those 2 deep control wards. Of course, the Baron isn't even alive. So it's not like Royal Reapers have any specific side of the map they want to focus around. They just want to get controlled, maybe find some picks, and make sure that Lao Ganma cannot come back.
Yeah, and right now they can just focus on the turret. Of course, Baron buff isn't up, so nor is Dragon. So what you do then is, as you said, either go for picks or just go for the objectives. Right now, they can pressure them. You mentioned that Tristana is sitting on 2 items. You also have a really powerful Zinzel as well as Jarvan. Jarvan with a Tiamat and a Black Cleaver this early on hurts like a truck. And so they can either find these picks or they can just pressure objectives because they will get that superior push.
In by Cody, he's gonna get flipped back as well as the stun connecting. The taunt doesn't find its mark. That's a good the heroic punch. Lagia jumping for that Zinzao. He pops the Crescent Guard. There's the Cataclysm. The Hero's Entrance as well from Clean by Cody. The first kill is already coming down. And Royal Reapers, they get 3. Nekawa is hungry for more. Gets a triple kill on Tristana. And that's a quick fight for Royal Reaper.
Right now, well, that was the perfect execution that Royal Reapers could ever hope for. Lagia jumps in, is followed out by Music Addict Galio. He survives and then rejoins with the Hero's Entrance. Royal Reapers now barreling down the base of Lao Ganma. 10 seconds is the length of the respawn timers on their bodies. That is going to be a quick inhibitor. Baron buff spawning in around a minute. A lot of vision around it, but that is going to be a clear sweep from Royal Reapers, at least so far.
And this is what Royal Reapers really do most of their games. I remember preparing for them. I was like, well, they never really win lanes, but they win the laning phase somehow. And this is pretty much what happened. They were ahead. They didn't really storm any single lane, and now they have this huge gold lead. That's another fight that was about to break out.
And a lot of that is on the back of Lagia, but it also is attributed to Royal Reaper's good team fighting. I say that as another skirmish is happening.
The taunt finds its mark onto it. This over Nekawa. He needs to be careful about how he approaches. But that Olaf is dropping. 5-1 and 7 on Tristana. Soldier is caught out. A double kill for Nekawa.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. into Tristana's pocket. I say that they're really good at team fighting together, and that is exactly what happens, because Laugenma, they simply do not respect the fact that Royal Reapers are 12 kills and 8k gold ahead. Sure, they don't realize the gold deficit, but, well, that still pains them super hard, because now they don't have a smite, Baron buff is started, half HP already, that Mountain Drake doing wonders, and Laugenma, only John Cleaver could have done something, he was nearby, but instead it is going to be a clean objective for Royal Reapers once again.
They are nearing 9,000k. I mean 9,000 gold ahead. And the Royal Reapers, they are making a statement as to why they belong at the top of the league right now. 13 wins already. They are looking for their 14th one. They don't quite secure playoffs, but, well, they will be so close that practically they could as well.
Yeah, practically. I mean, they don't precisely have a terrible schedule lined up for them either, so it's going to be pretty easy for them to lock in playoffs if they still manage to win this game. Now, the side of Laugenma are pretty goddamn behind, and they are sort of relying on a miracle to happen in this game, but if they manage to get to late game, they still do have Sivir. The problem is they're going to be fighting against a very frontline and back-to-back teamfight heavy composition as well, so they really do rely on Royal Representing.
John Cleaver now dashing out, that's a good start by the Cataclysm from downtown. Now in this top lane, Omen actually gets out with his destiny. Ayatsuru is still looking for the kill, the gold card finds its stand, and the Grove is gonna help Omena! However, Ayatsuru just able to survive with that lifesteal from the Ravenous Hydra. Oh, it was so close.
Frog could have been a clean kill for him, fortunately. This robot lady is able to just run away. Bot lane is also being pressured by the red side right now, and they cause so much damage. Like
oh my goodness, Rose is just dead. There is another kill onto this over. Double kill for Music Addict. The engage is so strong. No. Look at the top lane. Ayatsuru is gonna die to Omena. John Cleaver looking for a kill. Won't be able to get to one, but now Sojin is the only one alive, and the Royal Reapers, they are hammering down the bay.
At 20 seconds left on the death timers of Laugenma. The minion wave is just too goddamn big. It is over. Disconnect. The second turret is down as well. Hero's entrance just for good measure. And Nexus is just slowly but surely being chipped away. Sujin also with the ult F4 at the end. And Royal Reapers come out with a very, very important victory.
Royal Reapers, they solidify themselves at the top of SQ1 Champions League. 14 points, 2 ahead of Team Alpha, 3 ahead of GG, and currently 4 ahead of LGM and CBA. Although I believe they might be playing a game. No, they aren't.
No.
So good, great, and this game it was so clean. Actually, I am really impressed with Music Addict. Someone that I believe he's listed as a substitute. I didn't quite expect him to play, but he just comes in 807 on this Jarvan, setting up the engages, punishing. It is over in this top lane. And I mean, very impressive win overall.
Yeah, and despite the early game not precisely going in his way, he manages to just pull ahead. And once again, it's not precisely the... You said this, but I never precisely look at the laners as laners when it comes to Royal Reapers' performance. It's always the mid game. It's always how they're able to transfer their leads from that early game where they just have such good synergy with one another. Again, that could have been screwed up by the fact that they have a 7-man roster and the fact that Music Addict and Ikawa aren't in their base roster. However, in the end, they pull ahead and get a very important victory. Now, this isn't all from us just yet. We are going to be having another match lined up to play in around 10 minutes or so. It is going to be Glorious Gaming fighting against actually CBA. A very interesting match, I think, that it is going to be. So guys, yeah, it is.
I mean, it is another top of the table match, so you don't want to miss that.
Oh yeah, right now, let's actually see, because, okay, the tournament, if you guys actually follow it, it's not right, the standings right now, but it technically is Glorious Gaming in that 3rd spot, and they're going to be playing against CBA, who are right now in a shared 6th one.
Shared 4th, or well, they're shared with the Laugan match.
Oh,
just
4th,
1 point.
Sorry,
behind.
yes, 4th one. I'm unsure how their game went. Against who were they playing?
I think they had another FF against Free Cross.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So they would be 4th right now. when because Logan might just lost. So yes, top of the leaderboard fight once again. Oh, really important for the seeding. However, that will be it from us too. We are going to be having some other lovely casters joining us in just a couple of minutes, guys. Make sure not to go anywhere. And well, we're going to see you another time.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to week 8 of Square One Esports. I'm Dari Darkson McOwen, and joining me today is Luca Sherlock Davari as normal. We have Glorious Gaming versus CBA. It should be a great match.
Yeah, definitely. These two teams have been in the top of the ranking since the start of the season, especially GG, who have been stuck in the top 2, top 1 of the rankings, not going down just one bit.
I'm not sure if I describe it as being stuck, more happy to be up in that top spot, because if you're saying stuck, that's more where, the Korean rejects are. They're stuck in last place.
Oh, yeah? Well, I bet GG could do more than that, So...
They're on a 12-3 sort of record, so they're not doing too bad. CBA on a 10-5, so they want to try and equalize this a little bit and go a little bit further up the standings, since they're in 5th place to the 2nd place of Glorious Gaming. But Glorious Gaming did lose to UE last week, and I think that's a game that you have very strong opinions on.
Yeah, definitely. I watched the whole game and it was insane. GG versus UE, actually I've been casting that game along with Byron, and even though UE have been demonstrating very strong understanding of how to draft simply when you don't have the mechanical level of your opponent, they just always matched GG's rotations at any point of the game. And Psycho has been incredible on his Nocturne, so it played a lot in their favor. And Samus had... I'm not gonna say he had a bad performance on his Jarvan, but before the game started, I was saying that, well, if Samus tries to disrespect his opponent, he's gonna get smashed, and that's exactly what happened. Samus was too cocky, too careless, and it ended up costing him the game. Even though he had a pretty dominant Jarvan performance the whole day, but in the end, this game is all about the solo lanes and how the junglers can influence these solo lanes. Because even though you have Whisper and Vanguard in the bot lane, 2 strong mechanical AD carries, just take a look at the solo lanes, right? You have Lizard, you have Perun, Pulsen, and Reprobate. And these players have been showing in the past how they can carry a game all by their own. So we're just waiting for these guys to actually pick dominant matchups in the lane and play for that early game. Samus is an early game jungler. He was one-tricking Camille when she was a thing in the jungle a few patches ago. Now she's not anymore, so you can hope he doesn't get... it's already one ban off the table for GG's opponents. But right now, Samus, he showed us that he can play other things than Hecarim and Camille. He, as I said, had these Jarvan performances last week, although a couple of mechanical mistakes that makes you say he didn't have enough training on the pick. But as a jungler, as a player in general, he has such a good understanding of pathing, of what his teammates need, that I think he's the player to watch on the side of GG.
Yeah, definitely someone we have to keep our eyes on, and the Vayne will be taken away from Vayne God. It's kind of the one that you have to be banning away, because otherwise they could just first pick that on their first rotation. And Vayne, it's even played in the LCS and the LEC at the moment, so it's definitely something high up in the meta, something that a lot of teams like to prioritize. And Sejuani and Vladimir also being taken off the table, unknown Swede. They don't want that Sejuani for the lockdown. Good early ganking potential too.
Yeah, and also we've seen Samus doing a lot of counter jungling, and since GG is always thriving in 5v5 team fights, it's actually very logical that they banned the Sejuani, because she's so safe in the early game because of her natural tankiness that you cannot counter jungle effectively against the Sejuani, because she will just win a lot of trades with high basic damages. So that's why you don't want to get her in the game. And the ultimate is obviously one of the most playmaker ultimate in the jungle. So good good bans so far for GG. Even though you have to waste one for the Vayne, and yeah, so Vayne and Hecarim bans is actually two bans for the first rotations for each team if you consider the one-trick bans as mandatory. And now we have the Jarvan first pick.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that higher priority, even though it has a bit of flexibility. We're kind of assuming that Samus will be picking that up.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going for Samus, because just imagine last week he had two very great games versus UE and Team Alpha. So Team Alpha is a very strong opponent. Even if some of you don't have faith in UE, you should, by the way, because it's the UE hype train.
The UE underdog story, it's always that story. They're always the underdogs. Sometimes they pull through, sometimes they don't. We'll just have to wait and see, but at least being locked in another early game jungler, good for the invades as well. Can play well into the Jarvan, so I would assume that they wouldn't be locking in this Graves. If it's locked in, that's definitely a J4 for Lizard. That's the Galio.
And
I got you baited. Don't talk about hovers.
Oh my god, don't talk about hovers, because eventually it's a Galio, so this one, so far, is all about flex picks, right? Jarvan could go mid, could go top, he could go jungle, Galio, mid and support. So when you are CBA, at this stage of the draft, you still don't know where each champions are going. Except for the Lucian, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, Lucian does allow for some shenanigans, but if you are GG, you consider yourselves as having the upper hand in this matchup. So I do not expect GG to pull some cheesy stuff to win this game. I think that so far they have demonstrated a very cerebral style, a very reflected play style. So, and they are so good at it, obviously, because they are out rotating their opponents every game. And this is how they win their game. They have a game plan. They think up their game plan 5 minutes in advance, and then they play towards what they really want. And that is their biggest strength, right? So I think that GG, if they play their classic play style, I pretty much think they are going to win this. So CBA decided to ban Rek'Sai in fear of Jarvan actually going in the top lane, and since they are banning a bit of jungle. Also, CBA actually decides to ban Zoe. That's.
You think that the Galio can go to Flicker in the bot lane, can go to Perun in the middle lane. It has a bit of flexibility there, and as we said before, Lizard can pick up the J4, or it can go over to Samus, which is, I think, why they're kind of banning away the Zoe, banning away the Rek'Sai as well, because they don't know where everything's going to be going at this point, want to take away some of the power picks.
So banning Zoe does hint that CBA might be giving the. Actually, they end up giving the counter pick to the mid lane. So they decide to ban Zoe, and GG responds with Lissandra, which is actually strange. But on side of GG, it's LeBlanc and Lissandra, two very powerful picks gone from the mid lane.
Some of the counters to Galio as well, some people would say.
Yeah, maybe. We're finally getting to see if this is a support, but it looks like it's gonna be a mid laner for.
Oh, don't talk about hovers. It could be anything locked in here. I would love to see a Zed. Zed is so much fun to watch.
Don't talk about hovers, Darkseal.
We don't know what they're gonna lock in here. Come on, just a few more seconds. We'll be the Orianna, so support Galio. Exactly what we thought it would be.
And support Galio, but just look at the final composition that we have for GG. It's gonna be the Echo as a response to the Orianna, which is nice because Echo has a lot of damages early on, and even though he's gonna get poked a lot during the laning phase, he actually has ways of fighting back. He's not that kind of laner that gets super shoved in by an Orianna press 6. So yeah, just take a look at the draft of GG. This ball of Orianna can go on pretty much anyone, and anyone can actually dash in, get an engage, and with the follow-up with the Galio ultimate, the Orianna Shockwave to get everyone back into the Galio ultimate is going to be very strong wombo combo, right? If you ever manage to get the stun from the Jax, the flag and drag is a fairly easy follow-up to do. So top lane is actually top lane can actually be a good ganking lane, and for the rest of the lanes on the side of GG I'm talking about, you actually have few ganking potential in the mid lane because Echo is actually a bit slippery of a pick. He has the E to back off. He has the shield that can stun as well, so you don't want to get caught in that. And the bot lane, however, Jinx doesn't have that much mobility, I feel, and Braum doesn't bring the kind of protection you want when you have Galio and Jarvan in the enemy team. So I think that Samus might be looking for bot lane action, especially when you have Lucian, an early game AD carry that can really snowball if you give him a lead.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, though, the Elise is all. I really love the Elise pick because it's one of these mechanical jungler where your success actually comes from your ability to land a skill shot.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing Elise and you're bad at landing the cocoons, no matter how is your pathing, you're not going to do much because the pick is just that. It's just a cocoon. And if you don't have the ability to tower dive in the early game, the Elise pick is somewhat questionable, but it is understandable. One side of Elise is the tower dives. So obviously with Poppy, Echo, and Jinx, and Braum, you're not going to tower dive much because you won't have the pressure on the lanes early on in the game to actually shove the enemy under their towers. But Elise has another way of playing the game, which is counter ganks. So what we will be expecting from Elise early on in the game is to actually keep track of Samus on the map and read his pathing and warn his teammates of where Samus is at all time, and eventually match his rotations on the map. Because even if Elise doesn't have that strong of a burst damage in the early game, the 2v2s are deadly. You cannot 100-0 targets with your burst,
Mm-hmm.
but if you combine this the utility she provides and the damages she has with another person, you pretty much win every 2v2.
So are we expecting this early jungle pressure to come from both sides, and then Swede more towards the mid lane because of the Orianna being this low mobility control mage, or maybe towards the top lane because the Jax doesn't really have a huge amount of get out of free cards?
Also, you have to know that Poppy is a laner that can set up ganks really well because she can just basically run at the opponent and press W, and now
Mm-hmm.
the enemy laner is unable to escape without blowing his flash. You can say, hey, yeah, Jax will just hop away, whatever. No, he will not. Poppy will run into him, stun him or not. It doesn't matter. You have an Elise. The cocoon will do all the stuff. And so yeah, Poppy provides a lot of gank ability, and she's an oppressive pick in the early to mid game. If she ever gets the edge in a matchup, she will be able to keep bullying that matchup with the Bami Cinder. Maybe this game you can even say she'll buy a Bramble Vest.
Mm-hmm.
So she will have a lot of trading power along with defensive stats. And if she ever gets a lead in this matchup, Jax is pretty much over. He cannot actually play the game. Ping's already coming down from GG, so maybe we're gonna see something in the top lane. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they want to do something at this level 1 point, as we are onto the rift for the second and final game of the night between CBA and Glorious Gaming, also known as GG. And normal lines of scrimmage coming out from CBA, but can they get something onto the Poppy?
Poppy is spotting them out because she actually did her cover pretty well. What most people do in this case is that they cover by staying in the tri-bush, which is actually a mistake. Because if you do that, and the enemy actually comes, you don't have time to run away if they have, say, an ability that can slow you down or stun or whatever, like a stun Jax, a Jax E, for example. So what you need to do to cover this top side and bot side on the other side of the map is to step out of the tri-bush and get a little bit in the river. And now you're covering. And since Poppy did exactly that, she gets to stay alive.
The Jaxie, the Counter-Strike is actually what I was expecting him to do, maybe flash forward for it. He had the backup of his team that if he got that 1.5 second stun, then maybe they would have picked up first blood. Not sure if it would be worth it if the Poppy managed to get the flash away, but early warding here from the side of CPA will spot out where Samus is starting. So from there, maybe Unknown Swede can then just entirely know where he's going to be pathing.
Both junglers starting in the bot side, so we are not going to see vertical jungling, hopefully. Samus is actually running to the top side of the map instead of trying to clear any camp in the bot side. So he gets onto the blue buff. We might see an early gank from him, maybe in the top lane. They know that the river is warded, so we're not expecting him to go for the mid lane gank here. And about the Jax Counter Strike for the engage. Oh, so right, Samus is invading the top lane, and because Swede is clearing his walls right now, he decided to go for a full bot side clear. He's actually getting his buff stolen, so it's going to be a 3 buff on Samus. Very valuable for the Java in the early game. And the red buff is actually very good on Elise, because you always have these red buff, and now it's a gank in top lane.
Yeah, flag and drag will be stopped by the steadfast presence, so not really going to get anything out of this top lane except a bit of pressure, and some pings coming out from Unknown Swede there about this Rift Scuttle. Knows that Samus is going to be pathing down. Yeah, going to come in behind Perun here. Can he get anything? We won't even get to see it because the camera will just direct towards the top side. We'll have to repel away, I think. And both junglers trying for these early ganks, but not getting anything from it.
Yeah, as I said, if you miss the cocoons, your pick becomes a bit worthless. So Perun actually blew his flash preemptively, so they get something even though the cocoon didn't land. And now that oh, look at that! I was saying I want Elise to come back mid. Okay, so she still decides to clear her raptors. So yeah, now that Orianna, a pick without mobility, doesn't have her flash up, I want Elise to come back mid, and I want Samus to always stay near his mid laner, because it's obviously the only weak point of their early game right now. Jax is just getting pushed in, so the gank ability is very low if you ward well enough. And in the bot lane, Jinx and Braum actually don't have the 2v2 power to pose a threat to Lucian Galio. So Samus protecting his mid laner.
Oh, they're going for something here. We'll get the taunt down onto 2. Whisper is trying to get the damage down, but off to the side, Samus is there. Will flag and drag with the flash and gets the flash out of Zerg, but in comes the teleport, and you cannot cancel these because the blows will stack as well as the Ignite coming down. Paulson trying to do something, gets the first blood here. Taunt goes down onto 2, but Whisper has the concussive blow stacking out to him. Out comes the zap. One more hit will do a double kill coming through for Paulson, making it work with that teleport in the bot side.
That teleport was really playmaker and game-changing actually, because now Echo actually has the lead in the mid lane, and Orianna has her flash down, and since Echo got double kill, she doesn't even have the experience lead that she was supposed to have, or because of her range advantage. So mid lane is really going to swing in the favor of CBA. Just a little bit of training in the top lane, nothing going much, I believe.
But Elise is back towards the mid lane here, remember? No flash on
the
Perun,
cocoon!
gets the cocoon, doesn't need the parallel conversion to come through, and Unknown Swede picks up his first kill of the game, and both of them are getting stacks on their Darkseals 5-2 respectively.
And the flash was down, she got back to the mid lane, gets an easy kill because your Echo is fed. That's what I want to see. That's playing around the openings, the windows you have in the game. And is just gonna grab herself a little Scottler because her bot lane actually backed. They cannot afford to start the Mountain Drake, which is always nice to get the platings when you have it that early into the game. And something that most people don't know is that the Mountain Drake has the most value in the early game.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that armor works on the towers in the early game, and that plating works, makes it so that when you land a one auto attack, your damages get soaked up, right? So and the more you push, the more they get soaked up. But the Mountain Drakes actually takes the damages before your auto attack lands on the tower. So the bonus true damages eventually deal more damages than your actual auto attacks on the towers. And this way, early Mountain Drakes can actually yield so much value in the early game because you can just blow platings really fast.
Mm-hmm. That gives you so much more gold because of the plating, and looks like they're gonna try and make something happen around this Mountain Drake that we were just discussing, gonna clear away some of this vision, get their own vision down on the side of CBA, but Lizard is taking a lot of damage in this top side, gonna try and make something happen onto Reprobate. Samus will not get the flag drag because it's steadfast presence, but comes in with the ultimate, will be knocked against the wall. Keeper's Virgin will knock the Jax back. He might be able to get a kill onto Samus here. He has his flash available if he wants to go ham in this top side. But Grandmaster's Might was popped. Kind of gets the flash. Yep, we'll get the hit onto him as well, but might be turned around here. Will be knocked back. Can he get the double kill in this top side? One more hit might be able to do it. Reprobate gets that double kill in the 2 versus 1 in the top side.
Oh my god, that was so good! And he took the right decision with his ultimate because it was tempting to kick the Jarvan away with the ult.
Yeah.
Because when you look at this play, you say, okay, so Jarvan is inside the Cataclysm with me. So if I kick Jarvan, I'm not taking any more damages. But he actually decided to kick Jarvan away, Jax away. So that means he got to deal damages to the Jarvan while the Jax was coming back. And because Poppy can stun the Jarvan inside his own ultimate, he ended up winning the trade. So very well done for Reprobate. Samus being seen in the jungle means that Unknown Swede will be able to know his position and will be able to know as well where will he be heading when he comes back. So that's why we...
Oh, that's so much damage, and the stun comes through. He has his Chrono Break as well available if he needs it, but Perun is 1,000 gold behind. He's a level down. He has the barrier, sure, and Samus is nearby, but in coming from the side, Unknown Swede is there, gonna try and find something, has the parallel convergence available, will use it. Unknown Swede will just duck and dive away from the shockwave coming out from Perun. Perun uses Flash as well to try and get away there. Good rotation up from Flicker, but can't get anything back.
Lizard really losing that matchup in the top lane. Might die again.
That is just not what you want if you're on the side of Glorious Gaming.
And to top it all off, Vanguard just got a kill with her rocket in the mid lane, off onto Perun. So it's another assist on her mid laner. This game is 0-7 right now in favor of CBA, where we're not expecting that coming into the game.
Now, I mean, they were coming off a 1-1 week on the side of GG. They lost to UE last week. UE are always these underdog players, underdog team, and then they took down one of the top dogs of GG, and now they're losing to CBA. It's not what you want, but
Whisper
Whisper
has
has
no
no mana. He has to flash away. It has the heal available. Concussive blows will stun him up. That's a flash from Vayne God. Should be able to finish it off here. One more rocket will do it. Might be able to get the double here in the bottom side, as the traps will trap him up. Gets the taunt onto 2. Gets the flash away. Zapped will secure the kill. Double kill. Another double kill coming in for CBA, and looking for something else in the middle lane. Goes through, gets the knockback, didn't get the stun there. Parallel convergence comes through as well as the barrier. Perun, one more hit. Flash away from Poulsen. The damage from the turret will not be enough, and Perun will actually manage to get out alive.
The game is falling everywhere. I mean, fun fact, when GG versus CBA, we already had that match early in the season. It was the first game that CBA played in the regular season, and they lost pretty convincingly to GG. So you would guess that GG would have just stormed the game again, like they did before, but actually CBA coming in very strong this time and showing GG that they can do an early game, an intellectual early game as well.
Oh, he's just gonna turn it back around. You picked this fight, Samus, but can you take it? No, it seems like you can't, but Flicker is gonna try and take it for himself, and just a hit of the Q from the Jarvan will secure the kill there, picked up by Flicker instead. Whisper, does he have enough movement speed to try and pick up the kill onto Poulsen here? Ultimate is available if he wants to try and turn it back. Reprobate underneath the tower, and Whisper will go down to Zerg here, but in the top side, Jax finally picks up his first solo kill.
And the caster curse, though, just as I was saying that GG were losing in a very dominant fashion, now they managed to eventually find something in their way. So Jax is gonna get that solo kill while the wave is near his tower, so he's gonna get a lot of gold platings actually too, on just this solo kill alone, so a lot of value onto the Jax. He's gonna back off, and let me just check the gold right now. So he has 2k gold on him in his pocket. So now he's just gonna back and buy himself a Triforce. And I wanted to talk a bit about Vayne God, because the first time they played GG, Vayne God was playing Jinx as well. Whisper was playing Lucian, just like you see now. So it was the same AD matchup. But Vayne God was actually doing very bad in the first game they played. He was, I believe, 0-4 or 0-5 by the end of the game. So this time 3-0-2, i.e. completed at 13 minutes, along with the Berserker Greaves, in a much better position right now, and Ligature not really getting caught.
Zap will come down as well as the ultimate from Zerg, but the jungler is off to the side, gets the taunt onto 1 there and uses the Cataclysm. He's in the back, but he's all alone. He'll be bursted down as the Jarvan goes down. They get 1 back because the Jax is there. Unknown Swede gonna try and repel to safety, but Whisper is hot on his tails. He doesn't have a lot of mana, but from the side, Perun is there. We'll use the distortion to try and get some movement speed back. Blast Plant will get him to safety, albeit maybe temporarily. That's the Cocoon. Does he have the damage? 1 more Venomous Bite will do it. Picked up by the Braum instead. Chrono breaks back, but Poulsen's on the wrong side of the rift. Lizard, he's going to try and take him down 1 versus 3 here. Jax will pick up that kill for himself with that Trinity Force that you said he picked up earlier. He's starting to do some damage, but Poppy is free pushing in the top side.
So Poppy just took down the tier 1 turret, and oh my god!
Oh! That's why you don't recall where they know you're going to recall. Jinx picks up a cross-map ultimate kill, and Samus gonna try to respond to this. Poppy at the top side will not be able to do it, and Keeper's Verdict will narrowly miss. He didn't channel it for long enough.
Oh my god. Yeah, so he got caught by surprise by the flash. He thought that just tapping his ultimate would be enough, but fortunately for Samus here, he has his flash available, and now CBA are back in the spot they were in, because even though GG managed to find 4 kills in the last 2 minutes, they actually ended up losing so much towers and objectives throughout the map. They're looking to...
Oh, they're gonna collapse on this bot side now, with Poulsen making his way down as well as Unknown Swede. No turret plating available, so it's going to be very vulnerable. FaZe dives in, can't hit the parallel convergence, but gonna try and get away with the Justice Punch, will not be able to do it. He's gonna go down as the sacrificial lamb, as his AD carry will get out alive with the heal. In comes Pulse, Perun. He's gonna have to flash away. We'll get knocked out by the Glacial Fissure. That's a 3-man Shockwave. He doesn't have a lot of damage. We'll have to use his flash and his barrier. He just about gets out alive. But we have the pressure in the bottom side. Reprobate in the top side. Gonna try and defend this tower. It is quite low, but Lizard doesn't have the wave in his favor, and there's a lot of damage coming out from this Poppy at 2 items. They're gonna get the tier 1 in the bottom side. Nothing they can do on the side of GG to try and respond. Ooh, that's a flow! That is so close.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he decided to flash in and flash into the Trumps.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not an AD player myself, and I don't know Jinx enough, but I don't know if the Trumps actually deal damages.
They do. They deal about 50.
Oh, so he lost on that.
Yeah, they deal
That's
about
so
50
sad.
damage or something like that. It's less than 100, I think. But yeah.
That's so sad.
That was so
Ooh.
close.
The passive's coming, but the Galio ultimate.
Yeah, we'll get the knock up there. Justice Punch will not connect. Perun in a lot of trouble here. We'll get the taunt, but Samus is off to the side. We'll get the flag and drag in. Zerg is also there. We'll get out of the Cataclysm with the flash, but do they have the fight that they want to take? Samus will get locked up by the stun from the concussive blows. We'll get the taunt onto 2. Justice Punch in. Samus will try and secure the kill, but the repel will get him out to safety. But off to the side, Poppy is gonna come in. He has the knockback available. Will not get the stun. Throws out the hammer. Flicker is in a lot of trouble. Will be taken down by the Poppy, but Reprobate is calling for the full retreat here. They don't have the wave to try and siege in this tower, and Whisper is in the bottom side. They have the Herald. Gotta try and siege in this tier 2.
Perun just gets his shockwave back while he's recalling, so he could have turned that fight around, but because he had to ult to get away with his life earlier in the bot lane, he's not quite able to turn this one around. And now CBA with the Rift Herald are gonna get that tier 2 tower and get enough pressure in the mid lane to get an uncontested Drake.
It looks like Vanguard is going to go for that rapid fire cannon or a static shiv rather than the more usual Runan's Hurricane that we see on a Jinx. Looks like he wants a bit more wave clear or a bit more range for his rockets to try and maybe secure some of these kills that are only slightly getting away, like earlier on when Samus just about got away from Reprobate. They will secure this Cloud Drake for themselves, second Drake of the game. But as we check in around the 17-18 minute mark, the gold between these two teams is astonishing. Almost 8,000 gold between the two teams, 7,000 to 8,000 gold in favor of CBA. There's the 2 Drakes. You have 2 items now coming out on board for the AD carry, 2 items, almost 3 on Reprobate in the top side. Actually decided to go for the Zeal into the Runan's Hurricane, has that Kirkshee's Shard for later on when he wants to build into his second Zeal item. But the item power spikes are being hit by the side of CBA. You only have 1 item maybe on each of the carries on the side of GG.
Yeah, and you said power spikes are there, but they won't actually stop coming because it's soon the Lich Bane completed on the Echo, which is one of the most powerful items on Echo right now. So this guy, he's on side lane, so that means if you want to commit and kill the Echo, you're not guaranteed to get a kill because of his ultimate. And Zerg's finding some aggression, but not quite.
Yep, not gonna get the ult down, not gonna get any taunts there as well. So Zerg is just doesn't have the CD available on his ult, but they're gonna try and defend this. Unknown Sweet is gonna try and get the damage down. Flicker has to flash away. Flag and drag. The tower will go down. In comes the ultimate from the Galio. Gets knocked up onto 2 there, but this isn't a fight that they can take. They have so much gold behind. That's another kill. That's the double, but Lizard gets the double stun. The triple stun. Vanguard gets the double kill, but will be taken out himself by the Jax. Nice Keeper's Verdict will assail him. And Unknown Sweet and the rest of the team cannot take this inhib just yet, but Reprobate, he's looking for more here. Lizard will use the steadfast presence to try and keep them in it. Lizard will have to try and hop, skip, and jump his way away. Zerg so low here. Everyone on the side of CBA so low. They will trade 1 for that inhib, take a few kills for the credit as well. Teleport will be coming through. Lizard, can he find anything onto Unknown Sweet? But in comes the Cocoon. Will lock him up. That's a great repel, but too little, too late. Lizard will give his life for 1. And that teleport gets him 1, but he gives up his own life.
Yeah, he ends up taking the jungler's life though, so it's not that bad because now that they are smiteless, they cannot go for the Baron while he's down. So it looked better. The teleport looked better, but once it ended channeling, it turned not that great because of the Poppy being there just to stun him right away. He eventually managed to find an opening. I think that Poppy pressed W too early, so Jax had time to jump onto the Elise to take her life. And something I wanted to talk about, but I didn't have the time because that game is so much action-packed.
So bloody.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It's more than 1 kill per minute right now. So something I wanted to talk about, aside from the 10k gold, the whooping 10k gold lead at 20 minutes, is the vision game. Usually GG have so much vision all around the map. So right now, because the Baron just spawned, they laid down a lot more vision. You can see on the top side of the map. But before that, the map was completely dark on both sides, and Unknown Swede just wondering where the enemies were, and good intuition for him. So not getting caught right now.
Oh, Poulsen gets caught out here. Counter-Strike will just stun Reprobate, but on the other side of the map, the taunt will come down. It's only onto Zerg. That's not who you want to stun. Out comes the Glacial Fissure. Now Zerg gonna try and do something, but Samus is caught on the wrong side. Will Cataclysm in. Stun comes through. He will be taken out for the double kill for Vanguard on this Jinx. Now 11 and 3, almost hitting that 3-item power spike on the Jinx. And they're onto the Baron. You don't have any jungler available with the Smite, and Lizard gonna try and pick up the kill to Poulsen, but will not be enough. Poulsen will take him out. This is going to be a free Baron as they almost get the ace. Only Whisper's alive to defend.
And CBA gets everything because the members of GG, they commented one by one to take down Vanguard, but unfortunately commenting one by one is just a mistake here, because she's just able to hit them, to deal her DPS onto a single target every time. So she ends up taking down 3 members of GG, and on the other side of the map, Echo gets a solo kill, so he's able to push and then fast recall because of the Baron, so he doesn't get caught because of the overextend on the tower. So eventually, CBA gets everything. This is such a dominant game. I was expecting it to be much more closer, because obviously GG are the kings of macro here in Square One.
They're just being dismantled. You can't go into your own jungle, Samus. That isn't yours anymore. It's just owned by CBA. They have all the vision. They have all the control. They're onto this Drake now. It is going to be a Mountain Drake that's picked up. So that's the second Mountain Drake of the game over to CBA. They're going to tear through these towers, especially since they have a Jinx. So that's going to just shred through the towers, these neutral objectives as well. And Lizard, maybe he has to just run straight back to his base. Zap will land. He has the backup of no one here. Cocoon will land as well. Will use the counter-strike. Will he get away? Nope. Glacial Fissure will secure the kill as out comes the ultimate from Loriana. Vanguard will pick up another kill. Will Chrono break backwards? Won't get anything with the Jinx Rocket, but Reprobate really doesn't care. Will force the flash out of Whisper as they're going to siege in on this bot lane inhib tower. We'll take the inhib now. Only 2 left to defend against the onslaught coming in from CBA. One has to assume with these Baron empowered minions, they are just going
There's
to
no shockwave though.
No shockwave, as you said, available for Perun. Whisper doesn't have his calling available as well. And that will be it. That will be GG in such a dominant fashion from CBA as they take down Glorious Gaming.
CBA takes them down, 15k gold lead at 23 minutes. That was so one-sided. What? That was so one-sided.
GG didn't take 1 tower in that game.
They got nothing. For the first 10 minutes of the game, they got no kills. Then the game ends and they get no towers, no drakes, no nothing. Oh my god, how did CBA even manage to just outplay them like that? I mean, Samus was looking so great on that Jarvan, but Elise was on the side. So sure, she missed a few cocoons in the very early game, like first 3 minutes, first 4 minutes. Yeah. But then she proceeded to 1v9 the game, get down bot lane, get a kill, then get down mid, get a kill as well. And Poulsen, such a dominant performance. He was the one who started it all with a rotation in the bot side of the map.
Yeah.
He got that double kill with the first blood, and everything in the decision making of Poulsen was the right decision to snowball the game with what he got, because he had two. So he got a double kill, and then he recalled and got back to the mid lane with one refillable potion, one corrupting potion, and 2 dark seals. The amount of confidence you have here, because you're going into an Orianna, you have the Jarvan in the enemy jungle as well, so it's not two passive picks, right? Orianna has a lot of kill threats at level 6, even though your Echo, you have your ults. What if you get burst down before you can press the R button? And that guy comes back, gets the aggressive items, gets the rotations, the warding in the river. He actually bought a bunch of control wards that game, while we said that the whole map was dark. So he did a very, very good job that game. He was impressive. He did it all.
See, some of the problems that I feel from that game was they wanted a pushing bot lane. They had Whisper on the Lucian. They had the Galio so that they can get an early push. That was, as you said, punished by Poulsen when he used that teleport to come in. But Perrin should be winning that matchup in the mid lane as well. You have the early push and advantage from the passive from the Orianna. You have the range advantage from the auto attacks as well. But that was punished by Unknown Swede because he came in when Orianna didn't have a flash that he burned 3 minutes beforehand. So they're just punishing, I feel, better than GG were. And then in the top side, Lizard was meant to be going even, if not winning, that matchup against Reprobate on the Poppy. And then he didn't. He was stomped by Reprobate in the lane. And even when Samus came up to the top side to try and help him out, almost gave up a quote-unquote free double kill to Reprobate in that top side because Lizard and Samus, they didn't have the damage to try and take out the Poppy even in a 2 versus 1 scenario.
Yeah, so speaking about flashes, where I think the jungle difference really made it and nailed it was that Samus went twice in the early laning phase to the top lane, where you have a Poppy who is really tanky, that you cannot really shut down because she's just a Poppy. She's just here for the utility. Mm-hmm. And on the other side of the map, you have a bot lane that do you remember this gank where he made them blue both of their flashes with a flag and drag, and then he didn't come back to get the opportunity for double kill? This felt strange to me, really.
Yeah. I think it's small mistakes that were punished by CBA. Whether it's small individual mistakes or small macro mistakes, I think it was just beautifully punished by CBA. And
I think it was more like macro mistakes, because this game we didn't really witness a strong individual mistake, right?
Mm-hmm. No glaring mistake, really.
Yeah, it was always people being there at the right time on the side of CBA because of openings, because of windows. CBA took all of the opportunities they could, and it resulted in this super clean game. Whereas GG, so they lost to UE, now they get this loss versus CBA on their own, and CBA beat them at their own game, right? GG was always that team that out-rotates their opponent. Now it's their turn to get out-rotated. So
this is your style of play? No, it's our style of play now.
Yeah.
But I have a very important question to ask you. Who will you award your MVP to for this game?
Well, I think I praised him a couple of times now. So, hey, Poulsen.
Yes.
You sexy beast.
I would have to give it to Poulsen as well. Even we're not the results-based analysts where we give it to Vayne God because he's 12-3. But I think that Poulsen, he had a huge impact on the game. That teleport in the bottom lane to get the double, I think that was very impactful. Gave the pressure over to Vayne God and Zerg in that lane and helped them out. And even though Unknown Swede had a lot of gank potential and helped him out in the middle lane, I think that Poulsen had a huge effect on the game. And Reprobate did exactly what he needed to.
Yeah.
Just play the top lane casually, maybe pick up a couple of kills and show Samus and Lizard, don't 2v1 the Poppy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to say. I wanted to speak after you because you asked me my MVP, who was my MVP. I wanted to say Poulsen, but to Unknown Swede for tracking the Jarvan the whole time,
yes,
and Reprobate for pulling off this 1v2. But yeah, just go on. So I'm gonna let you.
So I'm the color caster now. All of a sudden,
You're
I'm sorry.
in
I
my
stole
head,
your
buddy.
thunder. I stole your thunder. We've cast the last few weeks together. I've gotten to know you. Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
But unfortunately, that will be it from us for this week. We'll be back on Tuesday the 26th for Team Alpha versus Royal Reapers, followed by Team Alpha versus CBA. So thanks very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That will be it from us this week. Have a good night.
And for my part, I'm just gonna head off to Royal Reaper Omena and Royal Reaper Cody to register to record a podcast with them. So look forward to it. It's coming in before next week's matches. See ya, guys.
Soon, TM.